Week 9 college football and NFL draft preview. Arkansas quarterback Taylen Green has another big-time matchup to prove he's worth teams betting on.
You are Locked On NFL Draft, your daily podcast covering the NFL Draft. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome back to the Locked On NFL Draft Podcast, your daily podcast covering your favorite draft prospects, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson. I'm an NFL draft analyst with Bleacher Report. And as always, thank you so much for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. It is week 9 preview for college football. And if you're an everydayer, you know it's offensive statement makers to start this show, defensive statement makers in the middle, and we close the show out with the alarm clock going off to wake you up about sleepers that you need to be watching in week 9 of college football for the 2026 NFL Draft. But before that, this episode is brought to you by Mazda. Like our players, we sweat every single detail, because when you make every move count, pulling off the unexpected is only the beginning. Stay tuned later for highlights in this week's Moving the Game Forward, Mazda Move and Be Moved. Taylen Green, the quarterback for Arkansas. When Arkansas, in week 9, Arkansas has a matchup against Auburn, right? Arkansas has lost. They won their first 2 games, and they have lost 5 straight. But they've lost them in outside of the Notre Dame game. They've been one-score games. One-score games. Their defense is atrocious. So everything is on the shoulders of their star quarterback, Taylen Green, who is 6'6", 235 pounds. On the season, 62.5% completion percentage, 1,900 yards, a little over 1,900 yards passing, 17 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions. But he's also added 703 yards rushing on only 70 attempts. He's averaging a first down per rush, 10 yards even per rush, and 5 rushing touchdowns. Okay? With 5 rushing touchdowns plus a 17, he's got 22 total touchdowns on the season. They're one of the most explosive offenses in the nation, and it is because of Taylen Green. Now, you go up against a tough and physical and just talented Auburn defense. And for me, these past couple of weeks of watching Taylen Green, again, they have not won these games. Not because of him, because their team isn't really good and their defense is abysmal. But with Taylen Green, he's shown me that he can, again, what I love about him is the fact that unlike a lot of these college quarterbacks, he's comfortable under center. It's not something he has to learn, right? You guys probably heard for the everydayers back in January. You heard me and Keith get on this pod and complain about how the Browns special team coach who was running one of the practices at the Senior Bowl had Jackson Dart and Jalen Milroe under center, focusing so much heavily on their under center footwork. And then you watch the Giants. What is Brian Daboll doing right now with Jackson Dart? Well, he's playing him a shotgun. He's not trying to run a ton of under center stuff. Now, is Brian Daboll getting candid at the end of the year? That's not the point. The point is, they didn't need to do that. Just let these young men go out here, find their rhythm, get comfortable with the receivers, things of that nature. No, it was harping on that. You won't have to worry about that if Taylen Green goes to the Senior Bowl because he's already comfortable under center. Even at 6'6", 230, he's fine turning his back to the defense and then reading it once he turns his head around and seeing what shell they're in and making the play and making the throw. But it's his ability to use his legs to get out of trouble. And I think in this game, with this defensive front that plays really good run defense, and that's something that Arkansas has leaned on lately, running the ball, not just with him, but getting a traditional run game going to where his legs aren't the only, they're not the only threat in the backfield. So I think for him, it's just I don't care about, they can lose every game from this point now. The wins, that stuff doesn't matter to me as much in college football as for a draft prospect, mainly because winning is a team sport. It's a team accomplishment. If your defense is atrocious and you score 42, but they give up 45, it's not much you can do if you didn't turn the ball over. So I'm not worried about that, to be completely honest. All I want to see from him is consistently making the right decisions, playing headsy, smart football, managing the game in a way, things of that nature. So with Taylen Green, I think he's a big time. He's one of my number one statement makers because he's getting another true test defensively in the SEC. And I just think that this is I truly believe it. He declares and he is going to the league. Taylen Green is a guy that we are going to be discussing heavily. When people really get into his tape, you see what he can do. This is not a day 3 prospect, in my opinion. This is a day 2 at worst prospect, right? And I think that he could be a big time. He's got the highest ceiling at the quarterback position in this class. To me, right now, even over a Lenore Sellers, because he's more advanced as a passer, and he's a great runner as well. He's not the physical runner, the low in the shoulder, like, fighting through all the contact and doing those Cam Newton type runs that you see from a Lenore Sellers. But man, he's elusive. He can break you down. And then he has the long stride to just eat up grass like a Usain Bolt with that long stride. He's not Usain Bolt. I'm not saying that. So don't quote me on that. Don't clip this and say DP said he's Usain Bolt at quarterback. I never said that. I said the long stride like Usain Bolt. When you saw him hawk down Tyson Gay and all those guys back in the early 2000s and everything like that or whatnot. Yes, in the Olympics, that long stride. He one of his strides is taking it's like taking 2 or 3 steps of a Tyson Gay. One of Taylen Green's strides is taking 2 or 3 steps of the average quarterback. That's the point I'm making. So do not take me out of context on that. But another quarterback, John Mateer, I want to see him. I want to see him just play better, continue to play better. Right. I was not a fan of him returning unless he was really healthy and ready to go. And of course, he returned for Texas. He was terrible in that game. Against South Carolina, yeah, he was okay. Like he managed the game. He was 19 of 27, 155 yards, 1 touchdown, and he didn't throw a pick. He did have 2 turnover-worthy plays per PFF. Take that for what it is. But other than that, yeah, I think he's fine, right? So against this week, he's got Ole Miss. Yeah, that's okay. That's a situation right there because one thing we know, Ole Miss can put up points, and you're going to be facing Trinidad Chambliss and everything. So you have you already have Brent Venables talking about what this young man can do and everything. They are at home, so that's a good thing, right, for Oklahoma. But I just want to see John Mateer play well. I want to see him just manage the game again. Don't turn the ball over. Don't put it in harm's way. Don't hurt yourself either. Like, don't put yourself in harm's way. Again, I felt like they could have won these games. This stretch of games right now, I truly believe they would have been fine. I feel like they could have beat Texas without him. They could have beat South Carolina without him. And this is the game I probably would have said, if you got a chance to sit for 2 more weeks, right? 2 more weeks. If you could have sat for 2 more weeks and then your first game is Ole Miss, I think he would have been in a much better shape, but he wanted to come back and things like that. So, you want to see him play well. And then my guy, Darius Taylor, man. Darius Taylor has a nice matchup in terms of from a scouting standpoint. Yeah, Iowa, man. They're facing Iowa, and that defense for Iowa, Minnesota, I believe, and they're going on the road. 3:30 kickoff Eastern time. They're on the road, Kinnick Stadium, against a strong and physical and well-coached Iowa defense. And for me, for Darius Taylor, just another data point, another opportunity to stake your claim as one of the best running backs in college football, now that you're healthy, right? Because you got that, I'm telling you, that defensive line is good for Iowa, guys. From Ethan Hurkett to Max Llewellyn. We talk, you guys have heard us talk about that for our everydayers. You've heard his name before. My guy, the Gravedigger, Aaron Graves, the defensive tackle. Okay, like they can get after the quarterback. They can make things difficult on the running game. Now that defensive line is kind of sub 300s, right? Sub 300s. So he's like, hey, Minnesota's offensive line, can you lean on these guys? Can you put your weight on them? Can you wear them down and tire them out? If you can do those things, Darius Taylor could be in for a 20 plus touch type of game, right? Darius Taylor could be in terms of rushing attempts. He could be in I think he had 24 carries against Nebraska. I would not be shocked if this is a game he comes out of there with 24 rushing attempts again. He had 24 for 148. He could be in for that again against this Iowa defense, being able to really set the tone, lean on these guys, wear them down, get out of there because you're on the road. You want to get out of there, run the clock out, get out of there, out of the away state or the home stadium as the away team, unscathed, unmarked, Minnesota's a good team, and I like their quarterback, Drake Lindsey. But coming up next, guys, defensive statement makers that you need to watch in Week 9 of college football for the 2026 NFL Draft. Coming up next. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. The NFL season is here, and it's in full swing. And FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 back in bonus bets if you win. That's right. You heard me correct. Pick a bet. Pick your bet. Put down $5, just $5. And if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets that you can use freely across the app. Guys, I love the fact that with FanDuel, it gives me so many ways to play. I've built parlays, tried player props. You can even do the same thing and even jump into the live game action as it unfolds. So my question is, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com right now to download the FanDuel app today and get started. If you're a business owner, here's the truth. SaaS promised to make work easier, but now the average company is buried by hundreds of apps that slow down your teams and simply don't work together. That's not SaaS, that's SAD, software as a disservice. That's why you need Rippling. Rippling is the unified platform for global HR, payroll, IT, and finance all in one place. They've helped millions of businesses replace a mess of disconnected tools with one system designed to give leaders clarity, speed, and control. By uniting your employees, teams, and departments in one system, Rippling removes the bottlenecks, busy work, and silos your software created. And right now, you can get 6 months free when you go to rippling.com/lockedonnfl. Learn more at rippling.com/lockedonnfl. That's rippling.com/lockedonnfl for 6 months free. Terms and conditions apply. Defensive statement makers, and I got to go to my guys, bro. I got to talk about my guys out of Texas Tech, right? Romello Hyatt, David Bailey. They're going up against a bad team, Oklahoma State. And truthfully, I think this is a game where I just want them to dominate. That's it for me, man. I want these guys to dominate the competition. These are, for those who value the PFF grades, I don't value them as much like that. But for those who value them in the rankings and everything, PFF has David Bailey as their third-ranked edge in college football with a 92.2 grade, and they have Romello Hyatt as the second highest graded and ranked edge with a 93. So for those who value that, there you go, right? And I talked to you guys. I talked about David Bailey. Dude is an absolute beast, screaming and screeching off the edge. Like, he's going to get into the backfield and everything. And I think for them, like I said, Oklahoma State's not good. It just is what it is. They're not a good team. And typically what you want to see is don't walk in here. Don't sleepwalk into this game. Okay? Don't sleepwalk into this game. Go out there and handle your business and dominate them. That front four, that front seven for Texas Tech needs to dominate this game. Don't let them breathe, man. Don't let these guys breathe whatsoever. Because again, and that's why I said, for those who, just for me, I look at these two edge rushers, Romello Hyatt listed as a 6'3", 240, and then you have David Bailey, who's listed at 6'3", 250. These are two explosive pass rushers. And David Bailey, from a pass rush standpoint, grading-wise for PFF, is graded a little bit higher, 1 1/10 of a point higher than Romello Hyatt. David Bailey has 11 sacks in the season, double-digit QB hits, almost 30 hurries and pressures. Both of these guys, in terms of their overall pass rush win rate, is over 23%. And then you look at the true dropback sets, Romello Hyatt's pass rush win rate jumps up to 30.6, while David Bailey's at 43%. So at the end of the day, yes, this is a situation where this game could get ugly. And Oklahoma State has one win on the season. One win on the season. Yeah, man. I think this is a big time opportunity for those two guys to dominate. But I'm gonna tell you right now, a matchup I'm looking forward to, 7:30 kickoff. It is in Louisiana. It's in LSU. Man, it's those LSU Tigers hosting the Texas A&M Aggies. And I'm looking at, on the defensive side of the ball, my CB1, Mansor Delane. I think Mansor Delane, and this is what I'm looking forward to. The matchup. 6 foot, 190 pounds. He's played the best cornerback ball, the best ball at cornerback this season. Jamont McCoy is not healthy. We don't know when he's returning from that knee injury, things of that nature, man. When I tell you that this is going to be such a fun matchup of KC Concepcion and potentially Mario Craver versus Mansor Delane, I can't wait. Here's what I also want to see. LSU, don't be scared, man. Don't be afraid. Let your boy go out here and get his money's worth. Let him go out here and eat and really face the best of the best in this situation, because you think about what Leonard Moore, the top DB, for the top corner and DB in the country, and for Notre Dame last week when they played USC. I'm sorry, no, he wasn't on Jacoby Lane. He took away Jaden Mayava's favorite target, and that was Makai Lemon. Locked him down, right? Just seatbelt treatment, like locked up. And for me, if Craver is eating in the slot, put Mansor Delane there. Let's see how Craver and Mansor counter each other. I think this is another statement game for Mansor Delane, because I'm telling you, he has been playing lights out football. He is the best cornerback in this class. And I'll be honest with you guys, it's not close. It is not close. I love Avion Terrell. Mansor Delane has been the best cornerback in college football or in the NFL draft space all season. 23 targets per PFF, 6 receptions allowed, 77 yards on the season. 77. This man has 3 games per PFF where he didn't allow a single reception or yards. Nothing. He didn't allow any of that. The most yards he allowed in the game was week 5. He had allowed 2 catches for 41 yards against Ole Miss. Cool. He's got an interception on the season and 7 PBUs. So let's put some context here. Listen to what I just said. 7 PBUs. He's allowed 6 receptions. Yeah, let that sink in. He has more PBUs than receptions allowed right now. And this is a really tough offense and everything. And I think with Texas A&M and what they bring to the table, they're going to run the ball. You know they're going to run the ball. Marcel Reed is a talented young quarterback. Got his running ability and creativity reminds me a little bit of Lamar Jackson in terms of movement skills and how he moves, how freely he moves. He's got the same thing with Lamar, that wide receiver, just looseness and fluidity and agility to be able to make you miss and cross you up and break your ankles and everything. But I think he's still developing as a passer. Okay. And I don't think you don't want him to be in a position where he's trying to throw the ball at a high clip against Mansor Delane and this defense. They got a really good secondary at LSU. So I look at that game as well, and I said, man, Mansor Delane versus KC Concepcion, Mario Craver potentially. Oh, yeah. This is – get your popcorn ready, right? Right? Get your popcorn ready. This is one of those games. For those who really want to evaluate cornerbacks and receiver matchups, man, I just hope they give us what we want. Man-to-man coverage, one-on-one, on an island, and let these guys duke it out. Let them throw the hands. Let them get into this slugfest, this boxing match, and see who is going to get the knockout blow when it matters most. But, guys, coming up next, it's time to sound the alarm, right? The alarm clock is about to go off, and we got to talk about some sleepers that you need to be watching in Week 9 of college football for the 2026 NFL Draft. Coming up next. This episode is brought to you by Mazda's, moving the game forward. For those who believe it's not just about playing the game, it's about redefining it. There are moments that do more than put points on the board. They move crowds, they move culture, they keep moving the game forward. This week's moment that moved the game forward was in Week 8 when Arizona State needed a big play on the final drive. It was their star wide receiver, Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson injured his hamstring earlier in that game. He went out for a little bit, but he came back in. And on the bad hamstring, he's injured. He's not 100%. He made big play after big play after big play in that fourth quarter on the game-winning final drive. You talk about moving a culture forward, pushing through adversity, pushing through pain. He did those things. When you follow what moves you, the unexpected is only the beginning. And just like there's more to every highlight, there's more to every Mazda vehicle. Mazda, move and be moved. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and everyday shot for being our everydayers. The alarm clock is going off, which means it's time to wake up on some of these sleepers for the 2026 NFL Draft that you need to be watching in Week 9 of college football. And I'm going to go right to I think it's Baylor versus a couple guys in this game. Baylor versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati is ranked 21st in the nation. They are 6-1. Shout out to them and everything. And Baylor is 4-3. This is a 4 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. And I look at Michael Trigg, the big athletic tight end, big athletic tight end for Baylor. This dude is a baller, man. Route running, explosiveness, movement ability, just a big extended wide receiver in the sense. Run blocking is not his greatest trait at all. So in this game, Cincinnati's well coached. They're physical. I want to see if Baylor can get him matched up. Sawyer Robertson's coming off a little bit of not even a little bit. I think he struggled last week in the matchup that he had. Want to see, can he get back on the horse and just go back and play good ball in a game that they're going to need him to, right? I think their O-line is not great. So getting the ball out quick is going to be necessary for Sawyer and everything. No, he didn't have his best game last week. He threw 3 interceptions against TCU on the road. Now, this game, if I'm not mistaken, let me go back to it. This is also a game on the road. Cincinnati is hosting Baylor. Can he get over those road demons and not walk out of the 2 straight road games with 6-7 interceptions, all right? Or turnovers, even fumbles. I want to see him play smarter and everything, and that to me, that means getting the ball to Michael Trigg, but it also means getting the ball to Josh Cameron. Josh Cameron is one of those receivers that I like. I have a late day 2 grade, late 3rd round grade, like right in the back of the 3rd round. He like a back at like the top 100 guys, but he's closer to that 100 of the top 100. I think for him, reminds me a little bit of Hakeem Nicks. I was thinking about some comps, for those who remember Hakeem Nicks with the New York Giants, strong-handed, good route runner, contested catches, but he wasn't an explosive and dynamic athlete. I think that's a similar profile and comp that I'm probably going to land on when I do Josh Cameron's scouting report over at Bleacher Report. But nonetheless, I think getting the ball to Michael Trigg and Josh Cameron and getting the ball to him early. Josh Cameron also can make guys miss too in open field one-on-one, and then just the ball skills of the athleticism and ball skills of a Michael Trigg creates such a mismatch for opposing defenders, man. Whether it's we're talking about what a safety, a linebacker, doesn't matter. Those guys are not going to have a fun time trying to guard him at all. But also in this game, I want to look at the quarterback for Cincinnati, right? Brendan Sorsby, 6'3", 235. He's got athleticism, throws the ball well, right? The offensive line's blocking. They can run the ball as well. And he's got some solid receivers with a nice versatile skill sets. I want to see this. This would be a young man this is not someone that we're talking about for the 2026 NFL draft. And I think that he needs to be on everybody's radar right now. He's having a good season at Cincinnati. And at Cincinnati, I know there's a lot of PTSD from, the last time Cincinnati made a run and made the CFP, they got absolutely mollywopped by Alabama. I think it was Alabama that absolutely destroyed them. But at the same time, remember, that game was close early. There were some plays that just didn't go Cincinnati's way, and it just shifted the whole momentum. But Brendan Sorsby, man, 6'3", 235, guy that can run the ball. I think I like his arm from what I've seen on tape for the small portions that I've watched him and studied them and everything. I think get eyes on this game. This game has some playmakers, offensive side of the ball and everything. Get eyes on this game for sure, because you are going to be happy you did, simply because of what they have to offer in this game. I go to another game here and another player, another game. I look at the Utah Utes. They're tight end Dallen Bentley. This is a six, I think he's like 6'3", like 260 tight end, but please don't get it twisted. He is not some slow, I can't move. No, he's got some movement skills to him. 6'4", 260 on the season, 335 yards receiving, 3 receiving touchdowns. He averages 12 yards per catch. And I just want to see, like, he's only had, like, his best game was week 4 against Texas Tech, 9 targets, 6 receptions, 75 yards. He has only hit 6 receptions or 6 targets in like 3 games this year. Hey, Utah. Now, the part of that's because Devin Dampier, I don't really know what he's going to be as a prospect, because he's not a accurate passer or consistent passer. He's more of a runner in a sense, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think for me, just being honest, for me, I think that's what's kind of holding them back. But I would like to see them feature Dallen Bentley more, because he's got good movement skills. He's got the size and body type. I think this could be a big game for him if they really target him and get him those one-on-one opportunities. But I'm going to stay on Utah, but I'm going to flip to the other side of the ball. I want to talk about the defense of the ball. John Henry Daly. If you have not heard anybody talk about John Henry Daly, listen to me and listen to me good. I promise you, he's a baller. 10 sacks, 8 QB hits, 16 pressures, a pass rush win rate of 24.4%, a true drop back set pass rush win rate of 38.6. 8 of his 10 sacks have come on true drop back sets. Guys, I'm telling you, oh man, I'm telling you right now, this young man gets after the quarterback. He wins the outside shoulder, clears the hands, clears the man. He also has an inside spin counter. He can convert speed to power. I like his hand usage. I like the way he gets to the quarterback. And yes, this is an opportunity for him to just continue to stack situations and stack those data points, because I feel like a lot of people don't know who he is. And against Colorado, this is Colorado runs the ball, but they throw the ball. Caden Salter, who's their starting quarterback, unless anything changes in this game, he is a dual threat guy, and he's throwing the ball pretty well this year. Once he got back into the lineup, being able to keep him in with a caged rush, slow mush rush, what we call it in South Carolina. It is slow mush rush. You just slowly work your way to the quarterback, or cage rush him, where you don't give him the outlets to use his legs and get out of the pocket. But being able to keep him in the pocket early in games, in the downs and early in the game, and then especially if you get a lead and now they have the true drop back set, you tell John Daly to go ahead and get after, right? You tell John Henry Daly to get after the quarterback and go make these guys feel his presence, okay? I'm telling you now, and just for measurement, 6'4", 255 pounds. They have put good NFL edge rushers in the league. Okay, so he's just another one that's on the way. He's got another year of eligibility left, so he doesn't have to come out. This is his first year as a true starter. But like me and Keith always say, strike while the iron is hot. But guys, that's our show. Talk about sleepers that you need to wake up and watch on week 9 of college football for the 2026 NFL draft. Those defensive statement makers, those offensive statement makers in our week 9 preview. As always, guys, go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts, to get the latest episode as soon as it is available. Thank you for making Locked On NFL Draft your first listen today and every day. Shout out for being our everydayers. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.